I think just put spoilers from right.
Yeah, I'll probably do a little intro thing saying, hey, this is gonna spoil the whole movie.
We had a little rant.
Yeah.
We're kind of just, this movie was bad enough that we just went right into ranting about it.
Or maybe I'll just put this as the beginning. Welcome to the DorkiDorkiRv. I'm Momo.
I'm Kat.
And today we have a special guest with us, my friend Lee.
Hello.
So, yeah, we went to Hansel and Gretal with you.
Oh, that was, stupid.
That's a good word for it. You had a pretty good reason.
Yep. What did you do with the wand? Seriously, I want to know now.
Yeah, that was...
Did you keep it? Did you destroy it?
Yeah, there was no clear ending to, like, that arc of her story, but I mean, like, the whole concept of the time period was what got me, because the language they were using was pretty modern, but it was set in the past, and then they had these weapons. And going into the movie, I was like, this is probably going to be a pretty bad movie to start with, but they might execute it pretty nicely so that it looks decent. Generally, though, it was kind of just a big action thing.
Yeah. It was just kind of dumb, because there are times when like women have zero rights that time period, and then she's headbutting people.
Yeah, that wouldn't have flown.
She would have gotten hung for that. Not, oh, don't touch her, because I have a bigger gun than you. Don't touch my sister. It's the technology they had. Like, some of it I was like, well, I guess that would make sense. And then some of it I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Did we time travel and then come back?
And it was really out of place because everyone else had like pretty
they
set
had pitchforks.
Yeah, the regular people had torches and pitchforks, but then they also had revolvers. And it's like, was this like after the Middle Ages, but we somehow missed a very dark period where we forgot everything?
I don't know. It's kind of like we went to the future and we gained all these badass skills, and then we came back and we made these weapons that exist. Crossbows that fire in three directions at once. No.
That was
That's
in the
not
trailer.
possible.
That was in the trailer, and it's just like, wait, what? I guess that could make a cool shot, but it was only used the one time that was shown in the trailer. So it didn't really even mean anything at all, even though they showed it as being a big reveal.
The one that he gave the kid that like unfolds and that was a bigger weapon.
That was like, I thought that was gonna be like some baton thing, and it's like just something to hit someone with. No, it was a gun with a pretty cool bullet, but not a bullet that should have been made.
I don't understand how that gun would work at all. Well, it's the fact that it fired bullets that aren't physically possible now, and then it's back then, and they kill witches.
And even when you think about it, oh, it's a movie.
It's a fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale. It still isn't set right. Because you can't be like, these people are so different. They're dressed completely differently. Especially Hansel. He was way out there.
Yeah, his outfit made me think of some badass motorcycle daring.
But then Gretel kind of had a classical
Because she had
look
the
to it.
corset. Oh, look at that witch girl, the good witch, and then they have sex. Why?
Did they have sex? I guess it's pretty strongly
implied.
implied.
It's implied. Like, randomly, he hates her, and then all of a sudden, oh, I love you. I'm going to come back and visit you. Here, give me a kiss. Okay. Where did that come from?
They definitely threw that in there just randomly, because every movie, I guess, needs a love interest.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was anything unexpected in the movie. Like, their backstory and everything, that was kind of like, oh, that's a neat idea, but then they kind of really overplayed it and shown, like, right in the beginning that it was going in that direction.
I don't understand how they couldn't remember, hey, this is like our hometown.
Yeah.
Okay, so their house is like miles away, sure. There's only one fucking town in this area.
And it's a little shithole town that even in the flashback, the one witch that revealed everything was like, it's a pretty shithole town.
Yeah.
why didn't they remember it? And why did people from there not know, hey, these people are from here? Because it's not like it's a brand new generation. Especially the fanboy. He totally should have known.
Yeah, he totally should have. Another thing is, like, when they took care of their mother and father in that time, why weren't they like, you know what, there's two people missing here. They're about yay high, and there's a boy and a girl. Where the fuck are they?
Honestly, I don't think that's a big issue, because back then they wouldn't have been looking for kids if their mother was a witch.
No,
They would have been like, oh, the kids are gonna get burned too because there's one of a witch.
yeah.
So it's probably better for kids to be a witch.
I thought what was really cool was in the beginning when they showed the classic fairy tale and they're trying to kill the witch that's supposed to eat them. They showed very well that they're immune to magic, where it just went straight through and it was like, oh cool, they're immune for some reason. We're probably gonna find out why, but then it's made once they started like showing more flashbacks, it was very cool. It's because their mother was a witch. She put a spell on them to make them immune. It just would have been more interesting if there was a bigger reason behind that.
Oh, and another thing is they didn't really get any magic shot at them. They didn't show they were immune. I didn't know they were immune except that one time when they were kids, they were witch. That girl.
And then,
Only time.
and then during the hunt for that first witch in the woods, it passed right through Hansel as well.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
She shot it back as she was running. He was kind of in the air and it went right through him and hit the tree behind it and exploded.
Oh.
Yeah, they showed it, but then other than that, it wasn't really even.
Most of the witches were like fighting with their fists and
Kung Fu.
yeah.
Which makes sense when it's like, hey, our magic doesn't work on these guys, but then at the same time, like these magic on other things that did work on them. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that we didn't ever see a time when Hansel and Gretel really kicked a witch's ass.
No, I felt like Gretel was on and off. Like there were times where I'm like, oh okay, it's okay. And then there's times where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck off the ground.
You see, there's that. I think it was overdone, but I don't mind that they showed that they had weakness. Because you're used to seeing movies like The Avengers and stuff. Great movie, but these people can't even get a scratch on them because they're that badass. Whereas the people are like, oh, we're dying after one time. Oh no. At least they could get their asses kicked and still get up and do it. But at the same time, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm like, I had a hard time believing that they were still doing it.
Yeah, because the whole time it's showing these witches are pretty powerful and evil and tough to take down even. And the idea was even the biggest badasses, witch hunters, have trouble. But at the same time, at least show one witch where they completely destroyed to make it believable these guys have the skills. Because we had the intro scene and then the intro credits where it shows their entire lives just killing witches as children.
Yeah.
How did these people that have been hunting witches since they were literally 10 not be able to just completely own one witch until the end credits? That was the only witch that they completely took down with no trouble whatsoever.
And there was 4 of them then.
But only 2 even did it. They were just Hansel and Gretel. Like the kid.
No. Hansel didn't do much.
Yeah, he just
Edward
hit her.
and Gretel.
And then Hansel just like hit her as she went out the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seemed odd. I'm like, they're supposed to have this huge reputation, at least for one boy to at least have kept every single clipping of a paper of them. But then they didn't take down a single witch with you.
That was another thing that was really out of place that time.
A huge fanboy.
A huge fanboy, really? That how?
Where did he get all the news?
Yeah, where did the newspaper company
Yeah, he would have had to have gone.
He would have had to travel miles and miles.
He's been secretly following them forever.
And then he's like, oh, I'm part of the team.
He finally got his dream of joining the team of witch hunters.
Yeah, and how old was he? He seemed like he was only like 17 or something like that. What the hell is his family? What was his job? Just collecting stuff? Like, in that kind of society, he wouldn't be allowed to get
No, he stole stuff.
Yeah,
He stole the milk right at the very beginning. He's a thief.
He's a thief.
Yeah,
Oh my, I don't.
he's a thief.
I
At
was-
least for that part.
I was that uninterested in it. It was that bad movie that I was just like, no.
At what point did you just lose interest?
Probably when they both ended up at their old house. How did they even get there? How did they know to go there? If they didn't notice there where their old house was, stupid. Mom know that. But how were they separated and they both ended up there for one?
Well, we saw that Hansel was just wandering the woods on his way back to town, which really shows that this house isn't that far from town.
Yeah.
But then, like, Gretel's there, and there's no reason for why she's there. It was
Like,
really
how did she
weird.
get there? Did little scary pixels whatever just come and be like, oh, come to the house?
Or another reason is, why is she there? Why is
Yeah.
she there? There's no point.
She was trying to get to town.
Yeah, she was also trying to get to town from another location.
I guess.
Apparently, there's only one road to town that passes this house of theirs that they never saw on their way into town.
I guess maybe the premise is, oh, it's dark, they don't hide witches at night, and maybe they all want to hide. But that doesn't make much sense either.
Like, when they found a cabin, like, when Hansel found the cabin, I wasn't expecting it all to have been his house. I thought that was going to be I thought this was just going to be another witch's lair. Very cautious going out there because that's probably the smart thing to do. But then it's like, it was their house. It was weird. I guess it was fitting, but at the same time,
Well, and it was like, it was him that was like, I think this is our house. Well, she was there first. Why didn't she notice it?
I think she knew, but didn't say anything because she was trying to, like, tell him, by the way, our mom, I think, was a witch. And then, like, she was hiding because she heard someone coming, so she was probably thinking a witch was coming after her or something, so she had to hide in that ambush.
Yeah, with her too. Is she a witch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess in this world, only females can get magical powers, and so since their mother was a white witch, she got the powers, but then never studied because she didn't know. And
But you would think that since she can't control her powers, or she can't grasp them at all, then maybe she would have some sort of, like, I don't know, something happen, something magical. Because if you can't control your powers, something's going to happen. Like, oh, a pot is floating. I'm pretty mad. Oh.
Yeah, but something did. See, when she picked up the wand, it started to
yeah, but
that's why I was like, what's she gonna do with it? What's she gonna do with it? And that's why I was like, where's the wand?
But that was after. I'm, like, talking about before, like, while she was a child and all that. Like,
they should have had, if they wanted to do a really good storytelling, have a very inconspicuous telltale that she was a witch. Just something that's just out of the ordinary where it's like, what's going on here? But they didn't do that. It was just like, oh yeah, you're a witch. It's like you said, like something where she's being angry and a pot floating. Something along those lines would have been really well done. Maybe not as blatantly obvious,
no.
but just something to make you think, hey, there's something more here than just what's being shown.
Yeah, well, I just really wanted to see her kick some ass with that wand. I'm so disappointed because nothing came of that wand.
I wonder if they're, like, leading up to, oh, maybe we'll make it cool, and it's like, what are you gonna do?
I think all movies now,
Are
minus
doing that.
minus horror movies, but yeah, most movies now are trying to be like, we can have a sequel if we want, whether it's the actual ending of a movie or in the credits.
Lucky.
Well, you know, and horror movies not doing that because they don't need to, because they will find some way to make a sequel if the first one good enough to have a horror movie style right there. Like a paranormal activity.
Oh yeah, paranormal. I was thinking more along the lines of Freddy Krueger and Mike Myers and Jason, where they just get immensely more and more complicated sequels that make no sense and just reuse the same thing. But no, yeah, that makes even more sense nowadays where Paranormal Activity is going into probably they're filming their 5th movie. Probably, I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, one other thing I had with Hansel and Gretel was like, when they were taken into the woods, wasn't that the stepmother?
What?
In the original story. In the original
Oh,
Hansel and
yeah.
Gretel story, it was the stepmother by then. Their original mother had died. So if that was actually the stepmother that was there, it wouldn't have freaking mattered if she was a witch or not. They don't have any blood relations.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't really match well to their story. They took their own creative licensing to it. I like the look of the candy house. It looks very sinister. In the original story, in every cartoon story or anything
It
about
looks
it,
very magical.
yeah, it looks very magical. It looks very inviting, which is supposed to lure children in to be inviting. Hey, it's a candy house, and the witches supposed to look nice and just be very nice to them. Especially since in the story they were just abandoned in the woods and everything. I like that this one showed very sinister looking house, where like even the door looked like it had teeth around it,
Yeah.
and it was very dark. And then the witch right away was evil. I thought it was very fitting to the style they were going for. if it was a very happy looking area, it wouldn't have matched at all.
I just saw that house and I was like, if I was a kid, I would not be going near this house. I'd be like, oh, fuck no. Turn around.
No, you don't.
I just don't. I think it could have been a little nicer. It could have looked a little more inviting because again, it's nice and frosted in. You would have been scared of that house. You wouldn't walk into the woods.
But it's candy.
No. You still would be terrified.
Oh no, I
You
totally would have.
shivering.
I wouldn't have gone anywhere near the house.
No.
If I was them, I probably would have tried to make my way home. Because in the original story, didn't Gretel like leave breadcrumbs
Yeah.
to follow
Well,
back?
that's the first time. The first time. They were taken away more than one time.
They were. Yeah, they totally were. I forgot about that. But I probably still would have tried to make it home.
The first time they used pebbles. Hansel collected pebbles and they dropped that and they made it back. The second time, I think it was, I don't know, I could be wrong. They dropped breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I think
Breadcrumbs
so.
got confused or something, so they couldn't
Yeah.
get their way back.
Oh, that makes sense. I apparently haven't heard a whole lot of Hansel and Gretel.
I only remember one, and it was like their father was hunting in the woods or something, and then they ran away.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's the tale that I know, is that they were like, well, to find back the father, we'll use breadcrumbs and some birds.
What I heard, the one I know is the mother died, and she was a really loving mother and everything. And the husband was really upset, and then he finds this new woman, and she's evil, hates the kid, and wants him gone, so he takes him on. She persuades him to take him out of the woods and leave them there. And when I first heard Hansel and Gretel, I was just like, God, why didn't they just shoot them?
Yeah, I
They
think
didn't want him around. Why did they leave him in the woods at all?
it would have been a better story if the father was supposed to go out and shoot them from the stepmother's orders, and then he decided not to shoot them and just say he did. Kind of like how a lot of stories do that.
You mean like Snow White?
Yeah, like Snow White, where he just says, "Yeah, I totally did this," and then out of the kindness of his heart, left them stranded in the forest to actually try and survive.
You see, and that's what I thought. I swear at the beginning, I thought the mother was always a witch. I was like, she's gonna be a witch. As soon as I saw her, she's a witch. But, and then I was like, oh, she's an evil witch. Watch that. That's why she's big. She's an evil witch. And it's what you said there, oh, you're supposed to shoot them and stuff, she's an evil witch. It makes sense. And then, when I first saw the Grand, the Dark Draft Witch, right? I was like, is that their mom?
That's what I thought. That totally looked like her.
Like-
Maybe not a lot, but enough where it made me wonder, wait a second, what did their mom look like again?
Well, that's why I was like, oh my god, that would have been a perfect story if they like escaped because the father was like, oh, I'm not gonna kill you, and then she was actually evil, like she should have been. Like, should have been her stepmother, not her mother. And then that's the end. They have to kill her. Oh my gosh, the movie's perfect.
That would have been a
It
way
would've been
better
great.
movie.
Aside from the instance, oh, they swear and like, oh, headbutt people. And,
Yeah, it was very out of place. But that would have totally been better. And you said you knew she was a witch right away. I didn't know that. Knowing that it's supposed to be Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter, I thought it was going to be a thing where they were preparing them to become witch hunters. I thought they might have been a part of some organization or something where they were going to train or at least prepare them to actually fight witches. And I guess it just worked out that that's what happened instead of it being planned.
I do give the movie props, so I'll say it again. I give the movie props for actually beating up the people. Although they were healed like right away, and like an hour later.
Every time, yeah.
Every single time, they didn't have scratch or anything, and like Gretel always kicked in the face somehow. She's got blood smeared by now, and the next morning, not a scratch, not a swollen face, nothing. I'm like, really? Isn't this the Dark Ages? How do they heal?
Magic.
Magical water.
Oh,
Remember?
she her hand white witch.
Remember
forgot.
magical
Yeah.
water?
No, but they didn't know that in the beginning.
No, but they didn't.
What did you think of Edward? Not the vampire.
The troll. I was iffy on him.
I was confused by him, honestly. I'm like, why? So, you serve witches. Does that mean you should listen to her because somehow she's a witch? Is that
Yeah,
what that's getting at?
I thought that's
Is that
what.
why you saved her, or did the other witches decide that, oh no, she can't die, so you better go save her?
I don't understand what the rank is for control over this fucking Because, like, the bad witches have him, right? And they're like, well, do this, do that. And then Gretel comes along. It's like, it's because she's a white witch or whatever? Does she go higher up on the food chain? Like, I don't understand.
It was very much supposed to be the moment when they tell you that Gretel's a witch when he says he serves witches, and you need to tell me that that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I asked Kat, I'm like, what did he say? Did he say he saved witches or he...
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Is that what happened?
That would have been a great way to have told it.
I'm
I
like,
saved witches.
that's why I'm like, why did he save Serve? Like, if he would have been like, I only saved witches. Oh my god, that's awesome. That worked. But like, Serve?
I guess the idea was just to be like, he knew she was a witch. I guess trolls can tell since that's what they do.
I guess magical beings can sense other magical beings.
Well, when you said, when you told me it was Serve, not saved, I was like, so maybe people with this watch over her? Is that what's happening?
That was my last thought of trying to not think that this was going in the direction of that she's a witch, which we've already said could have already been a good idea if they got it right. In this case, it wasn't really done well. But yeah, if it was the idea of Sir Witches, it left that idea. Is she a witch, or is it just the other witches need her, so I save her?
I feel like they brought up her being a witch like a lot, and it's like, oh, by the way, she's a witch, right? And that was supposed to be your main idea, your main focus. And I felt like it wasn't, because she didn't have any powers. It was just like, oh, by the way.
Just to use her heart for
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and then at the same time, I'm also like,
I have a question about. Sorry, but they had another white witch. There was Gretel, and then there was that.
Mia.
No, it had to be a grand white witch.
Grand.
The other one might not have been a grand witch. No, it's just like all those other the dark witches. The only reason that particular one could change her face back to normal because she was a grand dark witch.
Which also would have been a great reveal that she is their stepmother.
Yeah.
If she always showed herself as a regular witch and then turned normal to be their stepmother, that would have been great.
That also at the end would have made it so much better when she turned back to normal after strangling her.
And not knowing.
Not knowing, and then he would have been like, oh my gosh, it's my mother, what? But then instead it was like, why did you change things back?
Yeah, why did you bother?
No,
I guess just to get that line in there nice try.
You know what? I think it was a whole, I'm not a bad witch. You look at my face. And it's like,
Oh yeah, because
we
you never
already
saw her.
know.
You never saw her as with a human face.
No.
It was Gretel. So maybe it was one last.
No, he had. Remember when she came out and she told the story that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she did.
maybe she was trying to play on his humanity, but I don't think she knew very
He didn't
well.
really. Yeah, he didn't. I didn't like his character for the thing he named it. That was in him. Like it makes sense. Like he was traumatized as a child. He now has diabetes, which was hilarious.
Yeah, when they said that, I'm like, really? He has diabetes? What?
I didn't think that.
That was another thing. The needle. Really?
Yeah,
He had a
a
needle?
syringe. He had a syringe with insulin.
Yeah.
Like they didn't straight up say it's insulin. He just said it's medicine or else I'll die.
I
Like
wonder
no, it's
how they
insulin.
knew. I want to know, how did they know, like, oh, take this, you'll be fine.
Yeah, every few
Apparently
hours.
they knew. Because Mia then said, oh, you have the sugar sickness.
Makes more sense as I called that. Her character, I actually realized the character, I thought her character fit in very well.
Yeah.
She wasn't just all this high-tech bitty everything. But then she had a wand and she was fighting on, like, I guess, like, witches have wands.
Well, it makes sense that they do. It's just they don't use their powers against humans. They would still have to have someone to use powers. And in this instance, they all had wands. Which looks weird.
It did. Their wands are like holding giant dogs.
Yeah.
So big. So big.
I don't know what it is about it. Like, with Harry Potter, the wands seem pretty natural with how they look and everything. But when you look at an old wand, like how this was done, it just looks very awkward and unnecessary.
Well, they have like lights and glowing.
They had the one witch who, the one at
Yeah.
the end, and yeah, like what was that bulb? Like was it some sort of fire blood or like what? Like what made that wand so magical with that big bulb of redness? Well, and it glowed when she picked it up.
Yeah.
Which is totally what's setting up for it.
It's set up for it, and then at the same time, like, she picked it up the evil witch was born, not the good witch. Does that mean Gretel was her evil?
Maybe that's the setup for the sequel.
Is that the sequel? Gretel turns evil? And then at the same time, too, they know she's a witch, so when they were kicking that other witch's ass, the Chris, why isn't she using a wand? Why wouldn't she go into training? Oh shit, I have witch powers. I'm gonna go and train myself so I can be badass.
That works specifically on evil witches.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Maybe she just doesn't want people to know. Because, I mean, if you think about the time frame, like, even, wow, I say like a lot, still even though I'm trying not to. Even Hansel was a little apprehensive about what he should do when Mia revealed that she was a white witch. Because he had said earlier that the only good witch is a dead witch. And they set up the entire time that she was going to be a witch.
I felt like they added her in last minute, and the whole conflict was supposed to be that, oh, your sister's a witch, and you believe that all witches should die. What are you going to do about it?
That would have been way better.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah, I think that's why they put the, what was her name?
Mia.
Mia.
Which isn't even a name from that time period.
Did we know any other names other than Hansel, Gretel, and Mia? Oh, what was the fanboy's name? Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Benjamin, it makes sense, but they shortened it to Ben. That doesn't fit.
No, and when the sheriff and stuff, the sheriff got killed. Oh, no big deal. He's out of the movie for the rest of the movie. Nobody called him.
They never went back to the town.
Never went back to the town with his goons. Oh, the sheriff's gone. Why are they calling him a sheriff?
Yeah, why is he a sheriff?
I don't understand.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
Now we're in the Old West. We're like, hey, cowboys.
This movie had a lot wrong with it. Like, I enjoyed it. I like watching it. It's like, this is neat. I have trouble hating movies. There are a lot of movies I really dislike, but generally I have trouble hating a movie. I watch them like, this is something. Like, there's aspects that are pretty cool. So I have trouble actually blatantly hating it. But now that I think about it, there's a lot of this movie that isn't that fitting.
I think they had a talented camera crew and a talented CGI artist and a talented costume designer and shit writers. They had terrible writers.
It is. The acting was really well done as well.
No, it wasn't.
You don't think so? Okay.
No.
There was a lot that was pretty bad.
I think
admit
sometimes
that.
it was on and off.
It was on and off.
I believe that was due to the writing.
I want to chalk that up to writing, because if you don't have a good script, you don't have a good actor.
That is
An
true.
actor can do as best as they can with a script, and with such a wishy-washy attitude with the characters in this movie, it's very difficult to portray it really well. Especially since it's supposed to be a set piece,
Yeah.
and then they made it so modern. Like, I don't blame the actors for Hansel and Gretel all for having trouble portraying what's supposed to be done.
No, like, I think they were, like, torn between, should I be, like, a badass from this century? Am I badass from that century? Am I, like, what am I? What is my purpose?
I honestly half expected, like, this hot rod car to come out at some point. I was like, they got the guns.
If
so
they do, yeah, it would be
car.
great. If it was supposed to be an ironic movie, which I don't think it is,
No.
maybe it is. Maybe they're trying to go for the idea of, we're going to make a bad movie ironically, and if it gets popular enough, we'll say, no, it was totally serious.
No, I think the movie wasn't bad enough to be ironically bad. They were trying. It tried hard to be a great movie when it didn't have to stick for it.
But like you said, the costume design was great, set design was great, the filming was great. I don't think it needs to be in 3D.
No. Like no movie needs to be.
I feel like 3D is
disagree.
overdone now. No,
I
some
agree.
of them are good.
I agree with you. I don't agree with you.
I don't feel that movies have to be in 3D. I don't see a movie and be like, oh, that has to be in 3D. It has to be.
Okay,
Oh my
I have to
gosh.
bring this up. That new G.I. Joe movie that's coming out, Warmall and I saw the trailer for the original, no 3D. It was just whatever.
Straight up, yeah.
Yeah. And it looked awesome. I was excited. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this. I bought the first fucking movie to watch. And then we never saw that trailer again. What was it? Months later.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. We see the 3D trailer. And then we saw it tonight, and I was like, doesn't look as good to me.
You don't think so?
No.
I think there are some things...
My eyes couldn't focus.
Okay, that's the action in 3D that had problems is the focusing. However, something that looks really good in 3D, which when we were watching the slow-mo guys, we saw how slow motion looks really cool with a lot of things. 3D does the same thing in slow motion. When you have the slow motion water droplets, fire, debris, like the 3D works very well in that. So in all the aspects of that trailer, when they showed the slow motion close up, it looked great. When you pull it away for fast action, it kind of loses.
I can't see well. So my problem with 3D is if you move it too fast for me, my eyes go cross-eyed. So at one point during that trailer, I was like, oh god, I'm going to go blind.
Just get back to Hansel and Gretel here though. That movie has the best 3D I've ever seen in any movie I've ever watched.
Really?
I'm gonna be flat out obvious that's the best movie I've ever seen because it wasn't this person's walking, let's make them stick out of the screen because we have to show that we have 3D here. They only used 3D when a weapon was coming at you or something was breaking off of the screen. Like it should be. Not like the Avengers again. I hated the 3D in that movie. It's so
Yeah, it
good.
wasn't really
Everything stuck out there. What's the point?
I've noticed as 3D has gone on, they're using less and less of that old 20th century 3D that comes right out at you and like a foot away from your face and like, oh, 3D! Now it's more of the fact that we're trying to create depth, which this movie showed really well in the opening sequence with the cardboard cutout look of everything. Like, that was great. That's creating depth. That's why I actually really enjoy the 3D in a lot of 3D games because they're creating depth to it. And I wish movies would do that more.
That's why I think Hansel and Gretel, the 3D was great. I think it was great. I like 3D. It scares the crap out of me when something flies out of the screen. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Because it creates the depth.
Yeah,
it creates the depth, and you don't know. It for a second breaks the idea that this is a flat surface, a flat screen. It almost looks like it could be a play. And that's what 3D should do.
That's what it should do. And most movies don't do that. This is the only movie I've seen that does.
Which goes to show that maybe what they did was put all their budget into everything but the writers.
Which, you know, is not going to pay off enough. That's enough. It's not.
No, but...
Like, for the general public, people are going to be like, oh man, this is really cool. Oh man. And that'll be fine for them, but for a lot of, like, hardcore moviegoers, which I'm not, so I'm glad I'm picking up this. A lot of hardcore moviegoers are going to be like, the story's just not there for me to enjoy it, and I will not go see it second one because the story wasn't there.
That's what gets me into a movie is the story, and I was confused. I was fucking confuddled.
Well, that's what a movie's supposed to be. It's supposed to be telling a story.
Yeah.
It should always be story first, and then you get your actors. Story, acting, and then visual. Visual should be loud.
Which is how it is presented if someone goes to a producer or publisher or someone or director with a story and they pick it up and say, this is good, let's do it. I'm wondering how this one went, where everything was so well done except for the story. Maybe something happened and the original story that was really good to be made didn't actually come out.
I doubt that. I think that it was a good enough story and who published this movie?
I don't know.
No idea.
I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't pay attention. Oh, it was Paramount.
Oh, yeah, it was Paramount.
Paramount.
That's shocking.
You know, normally they go with the script and they're like, this is what would happen, and that's what happened. And I think what probably Paramount was thinking, if that's not Paramount, forgive me, but I saw the mountain. But
it was also the Lion. I can't remember.
Oh, Lion. I don't know.
Not Lionsgate.
No, it's MGM.
Oh,
MGM.
Anyway, yeah, they were probably thinking, oh, it'll make a quick buck. As long as we make our money back on it, it'll be fine. And that's what they're doing for a lot of people.
It probably will make its money back because it's an interesting idea enough for people to go back and check it.
Yeah.
And it's got the actors, especially the guy from the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, I recognized him in that.
I did too.
Isn't he like a sex object right now?
Yeah, people like
him?
Yeah, people like him right now.
That's another
He's
thing.
a trendy actor and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Gretel though, I've never heard of her before.
I think I recognize the name. I can't.
The Bad Witch looked familiar.
She did, yeah. I don't know what I've seen her before, but I've recognized her. Yeah.
And going back to her, when it was the big reveal that their mother was a witch with the newspaper clipping or whatever, that was way more like the Bad Witch than their mother.
Yeah,
there were so many things here where it seemed like it was supposed to go that way.
Yeah, it does, and I'm like, what happened to this movie that it just got so confused with itself?
Especially with the idea that she can turn herself to look human. Why was that a part of it when it wasn't ever actually used? The only time was when we first saw when she meets with the guys in the woods and they're not really sure what to do, and then she turns into it. It's like, oh my god, she can look non-evil.
I thought that scene was done very well done, except for the part where there's a random girl in the middle of the woods.
It was supposed to be very creepy.
Yeah.
And it was.
It was very creepy, but at the same time, like, you could have been, close to a road or something. Why are there no roads in this movie?
The time. Actually, the idea
They still had roads back then,
they did. No, but this was very much the middle of fucking nowhere.
I think they wanted
especially
you to
with
feel
the
that.
giant forest. Like when they did the overview of those people in the woods and you first just see the fire and smoke, that forest went on forever. Did it stop? We just zoomed in. It didn't, unless we're like right on the edge and then what we saw in the distance is the very edge. That forest is way too big.
Well, I'm like, why would someone make a town there?
That's what I was just thinking.
Well, no, it's a little shithole town.
Populate that.
Who the hell built the first house here and thought, you know what, this is a great spot for a town. I'm going to invite people over here.
It would have been great if it was Hansel and Gretal's house. That was the first one, and then people were like, this is a little too in the forest. We're going to move out here, but you guys can stay there.
The fact that they burned her and hung him, though, I thought that was fitting. That's probably what they would have done.
That's totally what they would have done.
They wouldn't have listened to her being like, oh, the big witch, blah, blah. They were under. And when he came back, they were like, you're a witch, certified with all, you have to go. It makes sense. And the fact that they didn't go looking, like, you were like, why did they go looking for these kids? I'm like, it's better, but I wanted them to keep looking for these kids with pitchforks. Like, that's what they would have done.
Or guns.
Or guns, because they have guns.
Revolvers.
No. Switchblade guns.
No, that's
and
just them.
everything.
That's just them. They've spent their whole life hunting witches. They know what fits and what doesn't. I guess a rifle that folds into a nice little stick, that's what works against the witch.
Oh, and how they bless the weapons. I'm like, why didn't you think of blessing the weapons before?
Years ago.
I
guess it makes sense. They never found a witch that they didn't just kill.
Or the book. Because apparently that witch couldn't even do it without that book.
Well, it makes sense.
Well, at the same time, I'm like, you're a good witch, and you know that book exists. Why don't you look for it?
When you're right there.
When you're right there. And you would have known that, oh, that was a witch that lived there, because, witches probably know where other witches live.
You would say mostly for the good witches.
Yeah, especially the good witches.
Because all the bad witches knew each other.
Yeah.
Which, the design for the witches was great.
I like there was this one where it was this white, she was really pale.
I really wanted to see more of the other witches.
Yeah.
When I saw them all coming, I'm like, oh, this is great. You get to see more of the witch culture. I know, you didn't even get to see most of it. You got to see the big old lady one.
We saw the one crawling.
Yeah. So you didn't even get
The Siamese twin one came out of nowhere. Like, it was in the trailer, so I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But then it really just came out of nowhere. The one that had no face or was bandaged up and had giant spikes coming out of her head, that was great. I was looking at these witches, I'm like, they must have taken some inspiration from Silent Hill.
Well, I just wanted to know more about the witches and like where they're all from and why they look like that and everything. And we barely got to see most of them because it was just a faraway shot of most of them. I'm like, that's depressing. You could have opened up a whole culture there.
Well, you put all this effort, like they put hours into their makeup, their outfits, and
it was very
one little shot.
Yeah.
I thought it was just underused. I'm like, I hate to be that costume designer and makeup artist and everything so much. I feel used and abused. I did all that work on that one person, hours of work on that one person, and you see them for half a second.
Maybe it's less work than we think. Maybe it was all green screen.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of work, but less.
That's a lot of CGI you're paying for.
But in a wide shot, it's easier to do a lot of CGI like that. In a wide shot.
It's no matter what you say about that, it's still cheaper to put clothes on a person and make it up.
I guess it's the idea of what's cheaper and what's quicker.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's all they.
And I don't know which way they went with this because everything looked great. I can't say it looked cheap or it looked quick.
There was one shot that really bothered me for some reason, and I can't put my finger on it. When we found Edward laying on the ground dead, and then she, his
the
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looked
defibrillator.
like a doll,
Yeah.
and I was so confused. I'm like, why do you look so
Actually,
doll-like?
that device in itself, I'm just like, that is way ahead of its time. It has electricity. What?
Yeah, there's no
Hello.
electricity in this game, in this movie, and suddenly we have
Like, we
these
have
two
cameras.
people.
And not just electricity. It's a crank generator.
Yeah.
They somehow knew exactly how to do this to make
Where did
this
they get the
contraption.
wire and everything to make it? And another thing, when she's trying to start his heart, she's stabbing him. She
I guess
stabbed
the
him
idea is,
4 times.
but then again, we know he can take damage because he was blocking bullets with his hand.
yeah.
He has
yeah.
a tough thing. It's
But
just
this
getting
is
these.
his chest. If she would have had shock his heart going like that, and I'm like, how did you know it's that? What if you stabbed him right through the heart?
But no harm done. He's already dead.
Yeah, but I'm like,
She could just be like, "Oh shit! Well, he was dead already. I'll just
and
say."
she's like, I've got to go help Edward, blah, blah. Well, then they go off without her. Why wouldn't you go and see who Edward is? Yeah, Hansel was like, who is Edward? No, like, correct. Who the fuck is Edward?
Like, that was, I don't know. There was so much wrong with this movie, and I wanted to enjoy it. Like, the trailer, I was so excited when I saw the trailer. I was like, Hansel and Gretel, this looks great. They'll have a great story. I'll love it. And then I went in, and I was like, I'm kind of disappointed here.
See, that was the opposite. Like the exact opposite. I saw the trailer and I was thinking like, this movie's not going to be good. But then as it went on, I'm like, no, it's a movie. Like, there's been bad looking movies that have turned out good, and then I'm watching like, this isn't as bad as I thought, but it's still pretty bad.
I guess I had high hopes. I'm a dreamer.
I saw it and I was just like, yeah, that movie's gonna be stupid. Not gonna go to that one either. And I went.
Well, you did it for free.
Yeah, you have to pay me to go to things like that.
Well, we didn't
Or
want
buy it for me.
Actually, we didn't really pay for it either.
No, we didn't. We had tons of gift cards as well.
Yeah. So we actually still have quite a few.
Plus, I've saved up so many points.
So what would you rate it?
I would give it 5.5 to 6 out of 10.
I was sitting at a 6. So a 6 for me. 4.
I was thinking about it on the drive back, and I was thinking maybe a 7, but then I kind of thought about it more, and it got lower and lower in my mind. I'm like, maybe 6.5, but now after we've talked so much, I definitely drop it down to a 5.5.
I'm sitting at 4 just because I'm like, I cannot get over the way they act and talk. I can't get over that. It's just so wrong for the time period. And the guns are so wrong for the time period. You can't tell me you couldn't have created weapons and speech and stuff that would have been closer. That's just not researching what kind of time period this movie did. That's all that is.
If it was a modern day,
It would have been great as a modern day.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to see it. I'm like, oh, they should have futuristic Hansel and Gretel. They could have done anything
they've been
they
doing that a
wanted.
lot lately.
Yeah.
They've already been doing it.
I know, that's why I'm like, why didn't they do that? Why did they try and keep it in the past?
I was at a 7 before, and then when we started talking, I was like, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sitting at 4.
So, any movies that we saw in previews?
I want to see G.I. Joe 'cause I've been waiting so long.
I'm so excited for it. I'm just a little scared about 3D with my whole eyeball cracking. You'll have to like shake me and make sure everything's okay.
You said there was a movie they showed ahead of time before we got into the theater.
Okay, so there's this other movie called The Thief. It has Sandra Bullock and some other chick. I don't know who she is. She looks familiar. And Sandra is a FBI agent, and the other is just a download dirty ass cop. But she's like a great cop, just from the street. So they gang up together, and it looked really good. It looked funny. It wasn't supposed to be serious, and they're supposed to take down some drug rings.
Okay.
You
It
guys
sounds
know-
like a cliche one, but I
Yeah.
might have, if I see the trailer, maybe
I
I'll
think
think that way.
it's not supposed to be serious, so it's supposed to be funny, which is what got me. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be like.
It sounds very much Bad Boys, Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
Just every cop movie.
Yeah.
What was the other one? There was another trailer.
Don't look at me about it. There was
They put so many things in the pre-show now that it's hard to remember.
Like, I can only remember some.
Oh, Jack the Giant Slayer.
I'd like to see that. I'm kind of weary.
That to me, I'm like, oh look, it's another Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah,
They're not gonna follow the story.
and they say it's based off of two books, Jack and the Beanstalk and then Jack the Giant Killer. But because they're combining two books, it's not gonna. The story's not gonna make sense.
They're not even combining two books. Like, they're gonna try and stick as close to Jack and the Beanstalk as they can, because that's the one people are gonna know. But they can't stay close to that one because
he's supposed to be killing them.
supposed to be killing them, and it doesn't work because they're gonna try and stick as close to what people know to get people in there, and then people are gonna see it and be like, "What? This is just it's close but not quite, and it's not far enough off to be okay."
The entire trailer, every single time I see this trailer, I'm always thinking this movie looks pretty cool. It could be pretty nice, but then it gets to the point where the giant asks, "Who are you?" and it says, "It's Jack." And I lose it. I lose it instantly. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, it's Jack. Okay.
Who are you? Which really is the setup for he is supposed to be a giant killer. He's supposed to be known as a person that has killed giants before, and that should be like, oh shit, it's Jack. But no, because it is the original with a sequel together, it's not going to work.
Maybe we're missing something. That's my only hope.
I hope it turns out better, because we'll probably go to it. I hope it turns out better than it looks, but it probably won't.
You know, there's a lot of movies that we have to go to Oz.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see Oz.
Oz, Iron Man 3, Despicable Me 2.
Iron Man 3, no! We lost her.
You have lost me. I love him.
Is Robert Downey Jr. still the sexy man of Hollywood right now? Or have we lost it to Ryan Gosling?
Tears in my eyes. Him and Johnny Depp, oh my god.
Johnny Depp's like 50.
I don't care. They're
No,
hot.
that's the thing. We have to go into this now because Johnny Depp is an older actor, but he is hot no matter what.
No matter what.
Are
He
you
could
gonna,
be 100 years old. I still
Robert Downey Jr. isn't young either.
No.
He's like the same age as Depp.
are you gonna go to Lone Ranger?
I have not seen that.
The Lone Ranger has Johnny Depp as Indian.
Most likely,
It looks pretty
if
cool.
it's got Johnny Depp in it, I'll go to it. Yeah. I'm one of those people. Oh, it's got that actor? Okay.
Normally, right now, we probably start going into spoilers, but we kind of,
spoiled it.
at the very beginning,
What the fuck is with that squad? Where's that? I'm sorry.
I think
Just put spoilers from right
yeah, I'll
over
probably do a little intro thing saying, hey, this is gonna spoil the whole movie.
we had a little rant.
Yeah.
We're kind of just, this movie was bad enough that we just went right into it about it.
Or maybe I'll just put this as the beginning. I don't know. But I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I'm not missing anything.
I don't think so. Usually I do, but I don't think so. So we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Dave, do you think you'll want to do this again with us?
Oh yeah.
You enjoyed yourself?
I enjoyed laughing.
It was the first time you've been to a movie with us.
This is the first time I've been to a movie in months actually. I don't go to movies. I'm a gamer.
We do movies.
I'm a gamer. I sit there and I'm like, what is going on the screen right now? Why am I spinning? That's what I do.
You fit with this show as well on that, because we're going to be doing game stuff very quickly.